I want to thank everybody for joining me today. And today we're doing something called the Urban Mulleta, and I'm using my Valari X2s by Barber. We're starting off with the taper control setting all the way closed, and we're putting our initial guideline or our line of demarcation in kind of like an arch over the ear. And you can see I'm using the corner there to etch that line in there, getting a nice clean guideline. And I'm matching it up with the hairline in the back, the neckline there. Not digging into the neckline, I'm kind of using that as my starting point and going around. Then I have my fabulous flash effects trimmers, and I'm just skinning out the bottom area there by the temple, using my corners, and just going down where the beard starts to kind of like feather that in there. Now we're going with our number 4 guard to start removing some of this bulk. And you can see I'm gradually using my C-scoop technique. Not an exaggerated C-scoop, but kind of like a gradual where I'm coming off the top of the head. And you can see here I'm doing it in the back. And we're just coming up, removing some of that bulk, just gently. Then we'll go with our number 1 for our second guideline, about almost an inch above the first guideline. Okay, so now we have our number 3 guard, and we're just removing this bulk. Now, a rule of thumb is whatever you put your line in with is what you're gonna end up taking that line out with. I always say this, I can't say it enough. You wanna use them corners too when you're in tight areas like this. And you can see our guideline kinda shoots out kinda like a burst fade. Goes from narrow to wider towards the temple area. Okay, so now we have our number 2. And we're just working our way back down to that initial guideline, which was closed all the way on the taper control. Now we have our 1.5 guard, and we're just removing this bulk. And you'll notice most of the haircut, we're back to our number 1 here, but most of the haircut I'm using a lot of the corner technique. A lot of people use this technique towards the end of the fade for detailing, but I like using it throughout the whole haircut. And you can see now we have no guard, taper control setting open, clip over comb, and now we're just doing some corner work, more clip over comb here, just to get some nice detailed work in and a nice airbrush look here. So my comb's acting as a guard here. And you can see I'm just cutting against the grain. And we're back to our flash effects trimmers. I'm using that corner going down in a downward motion. And just feathering that bottom line out. It's just another layer of detail. Really using that corner on these trimmers. That corner comes out pretty far, so it comes in handy. So now I have my rose gold trimmers, and I'm just doing some line work on the arches here. Just using my T-edge to get super detailed, get a nice sharp arch here. Yeah, it's really gonna bring the fade together. When you have a sharp line, it kind of brings everything together. And you can see that fade really start to pop right here. And right now on the neckline, I'm just gonna comb it down and get a nice clean cut. Calm down, being sure not to dig into the hairline. Getting a nice consistent clean line. And using these corners. Very important to become comfortable with your tools, learn what they do. Pick up different techniques like that, shortcuts. And I'm not gonna put a sharp line on the bottom there of the neckline there. I want to keep that more natural there. so now I'm gonna get to the beard, and you can see his beard is kind of light, so I'm gonna incorporate some fading here, clipper over comb, and I'm gonna remove the bulk where there's more density here. So I'm gonna kind of fade it in and make everything come together here. So you can see I don't want to touch that light hair there because I want to try to make everything look even here. So okay, so now we're going to go back to our X2s, clipper over comb, taper control setting open, using some corner techniques here, and closing my taper control all the way until I get back to a 0. And using those corners, especially in a tight area like this, you want to utilize those corners. And then we're just gonna remove some of the bulk off the chin area. Kind of get this beard as even looking as possible, create an illusion here. Okay, so now we're just gonna put a nice sharp line on the beard line underneath the neck. You wanna be careful not to press too hard here. A lot of people are sensitive in this area. Okay, so now we're just gonna clean up this hair underneath the neck to make that line really pop, make it look sharp. So now you wanna be really careful in this area. You wanna keep that line out as far as possible. You don't wanna take it in, just like you don't wanna take any other lines of the beard in or down. You wanna try to keep everything as natural as possible, treating it with the same respect you would the hairline. You don't want to push anybody back, so you want to treat the beard line with the same respect. And now we're just doing some finishing touches with the razor. I like using a dry razor on the top line of the beard, and I like using an exposed razor. I like the exposed razor because it allows me to get detailed and I can see my workspace a lot better. It allows me to get more detail. And there we have it, the Urban Mulleta by yours truly, Al Uppercut. I want to thank everyone for joining me. Everyone stay blessed. Keep cutting.